today we're gonna actually, since it's nice out and it's gonna start getting hot, we're gonna start figuring out how to put the air conditioning in, the vintage air unit. So if you guys, I know if you guys haven't ever looked at vintage air, it's hands down probably one of the best companies in the industry, especially to work with. They're super nice. Their stuff is great. Their service is awesome. And we sell the stuff. So you can get it at Summit. You can get a good deal on it.
But we use it in everything. It's a great product. So if you're looking for an air conditioning unit, they make a lot of ones that fit directly into a lot of the more popular muscle cars and stuff like that, pickup trucks. You can get it with heat. You can get it with heat and defrost. You can get it with heat, air, and defrost. So they've got complete units. They're very compact. Model A's, if you've ever owned a Model A, there's not a lot of room in a Model A to do anything. So this is the unit that we're going to use. It's got mounting studs already in it.
So I started working on the fenders, and I didn't film it because it was literally 8 straight hours of welding, hammer, and dollying. But this used to be filled with lead, and I ground out all the lead and kind of planished it a little bit. Needs a little bit more work, but I mean, it's good enough to fill if you want to fill it. And down here, all of this stuff was rotted out down here on the plate, up this side. So what I did was I cut it all out, hand formed all these pieces to make them fit. And then I was starting to do this, and my dad came out and looked at it, and he's like, "Why are you doing that? They make a brand new piece." So what we did was we called up Snyder's, who makes Model A parts. They're another fellow Ohio company as well, and got these. So these are actually the replacement panels that go on the side here. So they're kind of trimmed to fit. They got the rod in them for the bead that goes down it and everything. So I mean, we're only going to cut it right here and use that much, and then I'll hammer and dolly it to form it over and everything to make it all work right. I also finished up our dash. So as you can see, I curved the corners, made some nice little edges for it and everything. I ended up sandblasting it and ended up having to remake and redo all of this section right here. So that way it wasn't rotted out and everything for us. I also like to do this because it shows off how much metal work I've done. This is just the metal that I've cut off the fender and the grill, or the dash. So I mean, that's a ton of metal that I cut out of that.
As you can see, this is, I'm sure you can see through that. That's all the holes and stuff that were in that panel.
This one's actually a little better.
Yeah.
So, and this was the side, so this went right there.
The nice thing is, with this vintage air stuff, it even comes with a little diagram that shows the brackets that come with it to help you mount it. Now, whether we'll use these or not, it depends, because these might be made for a different car. These are universal in a lot of sense because you can put them in anything. I think what we're going to do is probably make a bracket that will go through, and we'll weld it onto the firewall and then mount the air conditioning onto that. So it'll make a nice solid mount.
I will show you one cool thing though here real quick. It's our Summit pads. You never think that you would need these, but I use this thing. My dad uses it. Well, he doesn't really get on the ground anymore, but I use this thing all the time. It's so nice because it stops you from getting dirty, stops you from laying on the cold concrete. I mean, it's really nice to have around.
Just to show you how complete this kit is. Now, this kit didn't come with a condenser that goes in front of your radiator. It didn't come with a compressor that mounts to the engine.
You can get kits like that though.
And the hose kit it didn't come with, but we're trying to decide what we're going to put on so that we can do that ourselves. That's not a problem. It comes with, these are the vents that go for the defroster in the front here, which will mount. Here's your heater valve. It comes with the wiring and everything, so it's just pretty much a plug-in. Got relays on it. This is a heater control valve here. It comes with the tubing to mount. So you got your tubing to put in. This would be for your cowl or for your defroster. This is to put to the vents that come outside. So it's a pretty complete kit, short the condenser and the compressor itself. So we'll get that and figure those out down the road here, but we want to try to see if we can figure out where exactly we want to mount this today and get it where it's got to be. Let's look at it here quick.
That thing's gonna have to be right there.
Let's put a hose on it and see, because we're going to have to run the hose. The hoses just slide on. They make a real tight grip. So they, then we'll cut them. We just want to see how much clearance we actually need up here, because these need to run to the vents to different areas inside the car. So we'll probably have 3 or 4 in the bottom of the dash. We may end up actually making brackets, or maybe even having to use a different vent, but we'll see.
Huh? That's not bad. I mean, that's where it's gonna have to live.
All right, this was the wrong direction, and so I had to make a minor tweak to it to straighten it out so it actually fits up on the bolt.
And what you saw there was the super old school best way of bending stuff. They're right there somewhere.
Now we'll put more brackets in this. This is just we want to try to support it so we can see exactly what we're going to have here.
Okay, I know how to do this.
Let's just bolt it on, and
then
so
I'll
we
make
can get a look and see what we got. These units aren't real heavy to begin with, so they don't take a ton to hold. Now we'll make brackets to go to the back of it too to support all, so it all stays in place. But we're trying not to put any holes into the firewall, or so that you don't see anything from the outside. There won't be a bunch of bolts going through the outside of it.
So what I'm doing, I'm not going to use this piece, but I'm going to make a piece like this that goes to these 2 bolts out here. I'm just using this to measure because we can't find a measuring tape. So we need that. So what we're doing is we're just making the, what is the thing called? Brace fit, the new bracket we made. I would have showed you how to do it. I would have showed you how to do it if Fumbles stops dropping stuff over here. But honestly, it's just a piece of bar with 2 holes drilled in it. So, I mean, you know, I'm sure you can figure that out.
We just want to fit this 44 dash again and make sure everything's going to clear.
Man, that fits really, whoever did that, man, just.
That's about, but you know, Carrie, we can also make a little, once you're done fumbling around with it, we can make a little bracket of it here to here and here to here, just to kind of brace it a little bit more.
Or so they can't be seen, we go from here to here.
Oh yeah. There's a little ding here. I want to narrow this a little bit. We'll put what's called windlace in here.
Actually,
it's the big stuff that goes around the door, stop wind and stuff from coming in, kind of seals the inside of the car, and we'll put a piece in here so that it goes all the way down the panel here. So it'll be nice and clean and neat. It just finishes all this off. So we got to do that. But then we can tap this out. That's no big deal.
Yeah, my side actually does need tapped out.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and that'll take care of that. I think that's about perfect. That actually looks nice. That's gonna look okay. We can always cover it the same color as the material there.
Yeah.
We'll glue.
Oh, we can just cover it, yeah.
We'll glue material on it to match it.
All right, so now what I'll do is I'll finish up.
Just tacking
that
and
on.
then pull it off.
We were talking about wanting to get the dash in so we can make all the brackets and everything. And what I did, I just went over and bent up these nice little just 90-degree brackets here. And then I'll put the dash up and then weld from the inside. I'll weld these onto the side of the dash. That way the dash will unbolt from the side. Then we'll probably do something up here too. But this way we can have it in and out when we're doing it and everything. So, all right, so one of the other cool things about this is too, these are the original Model A brackets. So we're just bolting on, using them to bolt on. And I'll clean these up once we get it all tacked in and everything. But like a glove. Alrighty, so now our dash is in place. So now what I'll do is I'll pull this back out and I'll actually fully weld all these brackets in here and everything, so. There we go. I welded these little brackets in, so I just got to finish welding up the sides and the bottoms and stuff. But the reason I welded them in is so we can just put it in, reach through the glove box. The bolt goes through here and it attaches right here where this bolt is in the inside. So this will actually hold the dash in on the sides. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to tack weld this bracket up. We still haven't done that yet, so I'm just going to tack that up so I can take it back out and weld it later on. Alright, that is not the prettiest weld by any means, but it gets the job done until I can get it out and clean it up and weld it correctly. So now, what we need to do is find, oh, there's one right there, our brackets back here that we need to put on. So I found one right here, a hole. We should have bolts somewhere for it. So hopefully this is a 1/4 inch bolt hole. If I can find it again. There it is. Yes, it is. So this will actually be pretty cool because this will be easy to make another bracket for it to hold it steady in the back. All right, so now that we've gotten all of this stuff mounted up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the actual AC box out and then show you how we mounted it all. So as you can see, we kind of wanted to use what we had here. So we used the cowl bolts that bolt the cowl in and everything, but we used the factory 2 front bolts, which is great. We were able to use these. This still needs welded to the big bracket I made. This one's good to go. And this is that back one I made in here. So all this does is it welds to the firewall, comes straight up, goes right there. So what we might actually do is put almost like a stud in the back of it, so we can just locate this, reach around it with a nut, and then tighten your nut, and you're done on that. So that would help us locate everything and stuff too. So that would be a lot more helpful. Off camera, I'll get all this stuff welded up, finished up. I'll get it bolted in and show you how it looks all bolted in and everything with the dash on the car and everything too. Make sure you follow Summit Racing on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I am McFly Design 63. The shop is KMAC Customs 330. Give us a follow, like, subscribe. And if you got any questions or comments, make sure you put them on the bottom. Good or bad, we'll try to answer all of them. So, all right guys, thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.